Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome to my kitchen. Today is New Year's Day. I'm making breaded meat, and I'm going to lower you guys a little bit so you can see this. My husband's bringing up eggs. I'm on my last piece. Now, there is a video for this, but it was not streamlined. This is going to be one continuous video, and it's going to be a shortened video on how to do this. So, I have pork tenderloin, and one trick I learned over the years is if you wrap your pieces of pork tenderloin in a little saran wrap, you can pound it, and it pounds quite nicely. So this is the last pork tenderloin I have to do. And I do want to say thank you guys so much for tuning into the New Year's Eve live. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, and a lot of drinks. Now this is a very filling meal. It's a quick meal to make. You can serve this with mashed potatoes, spaghetti. You can serve this with whatever you want. I'm just pounding this out. You don't want to go too thin with your breaded meat. About 1/4 of an inch is sufficient. So now I've got the breaded meat. I'm going to put this out of the way. And I'm going to bring the rest of the stuff over. I have a plate of flour and a plate of breadcrumbs. You can use homemade. Don't use the seasoned breadcrumbs. Use plain. They make it much better for this recipe. And I got 3 eggs that I'm just going to smash or scramble a little bit. Here. One thing I don't have is, I do. My husband washed this plate, but he didn't dry it for me. But I have a bigger plate that I'm going to keep on the stove. So what we're going to do is we're going to just drudge our pork tenderloin in the flour. And I just seasoned it with a little bit of pepper. Now, you don't want to use salt right now because this is actually fried, and you're going to salt it as soon as the breaded meat comes out of the fryer. Now, I've never done this air fried. I've only fried this in oil on the stove, and that's what I'm going to do today. I don't know if this could be air fried, but it probably could. But because of the eggs and stuff, and this will fry fairly quickly. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a drudge. And you're going to do this for all of your meat. So once you have all of your meat done, you're going to let it sit for ½ an hour and heat up your oil. I'm going to finish that. I'll be back and I'll show you the last part of what we need to do when it comes to frying. So stay tuned. All right, hi everybody. Welcome back to my kitchen. You've noticed an outfit change. I showered. I actually had to run a quick errand, so I'm a little bit late. You can tell it's 8 o'clock at night, and I'm frying. So you could do this one of 2 ways. You could do it the stovetop method, or you could do it in an electric fryer. I'm choosing to do it on the stovetop just because I've done this recipe so many times and it turns out great. What you also want to do is turn your oven on and set your oven to about 280 degrees. And that's just after the breaded meat is done frying, you'll put it in the oven for about 10-15 minutes to make sure that it's fully cooked. So while we're going to do that, the one thing that you want to do is you want to take a baking sheet and line it with aluminum foil. That just keeps your baking sheet nice and clean, and you can put your breaded meat right on top. Now you're only going to do 1 layer of foil, so make sure that both sides are covered. You're not going to cover the breaded meat. And it takes a while for oil to heat up to temperature. You want it to be about 350 degrees before you put the breaded meat in. And that takes about 10 or 15 minutes to fully heat up. And if you have a good thermometer that you can put in your oil, that helps regulate its temperature. In the meantime, I took the breaded meat out of the refrigerator. I had it in the refrigerator. You want to give it about 15 minutes to a half an hour to get to room temperature before you fry it. You don't want to fry anything that is really ice cold that has just come out of the refrigerator. Because what happens is then you have oil all over the place. So, I hope everybody's having a great new year. Ours was very quiet today. Like I said, I had, unfortunately, I had an errand. I actually had a party to go to. And then at the last minute, the party got switched to a different venue. And I decided, you know what, I'm partied out for the new year. So, when should you start doing the oil temperature? Well, you want to wait till all of your shortening is melted. And you can use lard for this recipe. If you use lard, you're putting a little bit more fat in your system. I'm just using regular Crisco. And you want to use the blue Crisco and not the yellow Crisco. You don't want to fry in the butter flavored one. And this is really quick. It should only take about 5 to 10 minutes at the most for the breaded meat to fry and be done. As you take it out of the boiling water and put it on your cookie sheet, what you're going to do is you're going to take your salt and you're going to salt each piece, each side with salt. And that's where the salt comes in from. You don't need to pepper it because you put pepper in the flour. And that makes just a really great meal. So, I'm going to stop the video for now. I'll pick it up after I start frying it, and then we'll wrap up this video. Oh, and this will be the first streamed video for the new year. So, stay tuned. Alright, and just like that, I've got the last two pieces frying. They're almost done. When they start to get a golden brown and they start floating up to the surface, they are completely done. Then you want to put them on a tray, sprinkle each side with salt, and then put them in a warm oven for about 15 to 20 minutes is really all you need. Like I said, I've been frying breaded meat for years, and I know what they should look like, but they should be a nice golden brown like this color, and I'll kind of get you guys in so you can see this. I'm just going to let this one go for maybe one more minute. But when they start to look like that, and they're a nice golden brown color, turn your flame off and you're done frying. And then what pairs really well with this is when my grandmother used to make it, she'd make mashed potatoes and then a vegetable, whether it be corn on the cob or broccoli or whatever seasonal vegetables she had in. And this is a great meal. You can even buy good Kaiser rolls or good buns, and you can actually make a sandwich out of this. And it is so good. My husband, this is probably one of my husband's second favorite dishes, next to the pork loin roast. But this is what it should look like when it's all fried. And what you're going to do is you're just going to take your breaded meat and put it on your tray, sprinkle it generously with salt. Now, if you're watching your salt intake, don't put so much salt on it, but the salt really gives meat its flavor. And then do the same thing with the other one. I only made 8 pieces, 2 pork tenderloins, depending on how you cut them. And you can make these as thick or as long as you want, as wide as you want. It's all about how they pound out. But that makes at least enough to serve a good group of people once you have everything else. So that was the breaded meat segment. Let me know what you guys think now that it's going to be streamlined into one video. Leave any comments down below. I will see you guys on the next Cooking with Joel video.